everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to unpack a topic that is, frankly, make or break for anyone out there running an enterprise. We're talking about the personal guarantee trap, or the PG trap for short, and how it just kind of quietly ensnares hardworking business owners. What makes this trap so dangerous is that, well, it looks totally harmless in the beginning, right up until the literal moment it threatens everything you've built. Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1. Anatomy of a failure. A thriving business brought down by a structural flaw. The source material kicks things off with a pretty stark cautionary tale about an entrepreneur who did almost everything right. I mean, he built a thriving retail business from the ground up, generating $300,000. That is a fantastic milestone. Imagine the late nights, the hustle, the sheer effort it takes to hit that mark. But, he made one absolutely critical structural funding mistake. He funded every single line of that business's inventory entirely on his personal credit cards. Without even realizing it, he created this massive hidden vulnerability. Because the business wasn't standing on its own financial feet, the whole shebang was riding squarely on his own shoulders. Then the turning point hits, and man, it hits hard. A sudden supply chain breakdown completely halts his sales for 90 days. Just think about the immense pressure of that freeze. For 3 grueling months, absolutely nothing was moving off the shelves. Zero revenue coming in the door. Yet those bills for the inventory, they didn't stop. The interest kept compounding. He was left utterly unable to pay those mounting personal credit card bills that were propping up his entire operation. The business was bleeding out, but the tourniquet was wrapped right around his personal finances. And because he personally guaranteed every single one of those accounts, the creditors didn't just sue his business entity. No, the devastating consequences bled directly into his personal life, setting off this relentless domino effect. First, they ruined his stellar 780 personal credit score, a score that, as you probably know, takes years of flawless financial behavior to build. Next, they actually put a lien on his personal residence, threatening his family's home. Ultimately, this one structural error drove him straight into personal bankruptcy. A magnificent $300,000 business was totally wiped out, and his personal life was dragged right down with it. All because of the PG trap. Section 2, the solution, protecting your personal assets. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is we're pivoting from the absolute tragedy of that opening story straight to the exact financial mechanism that prevents it from ever happening to you. The core term for today's explainer is non-recourse business credit. This is defined as financing secured solely by corporate revenue and payment history, which effectively eliminates your personal liability. This is the definitive key to avoiding the PG trap. Basically, it means your business stands entirely on its own merit. If things go wrong, the liability stays confined to the business entity, leaving your personal bank accounts, your credit score, and most importantly, your family home completely untouched. Section 3, tactical strategy, protecting your supply line. So, to explain how we actually implement this protection, I want to shift gears here and talk about a concept from the source called the G Code. This is a grounded tactical strategy deeply inspired by 11 years of experience in the United States Marine Corps. In the military, there's a fundamental rule. You never ever expose your main supply line to enemy fire without having secondary cover. We really need to apply that exact same rigorous tactical thinking to business finance. Look at it this way. Relying entirely on a personal credit score to fund an enterprise, that is pure tactical exposure. You are leaving your family completely unprotected if the business takes a hit. Conversely, by building dedicated corporate credit under an employer identification number, an EIN, you create that essential secondary cover. This ensures your business can fight its own battles and stand on its own 2 financial feet. Now, making this vital structural shift requires a very specific mindset. The source captures this perfectly, stating, "It isn't about being perfect, it's about failing, learning, and striving every day for excellence in the relentless pursuit of perfection." Building this independent profile takes real discipline, right? It's about that relentless, daily pursuit of excellence to ensure you are meticulously separating your personal life from your corporate entity. Section 4, the receipts, how to build corporate credit. Let's move to and see how this builds. So let's explore what the source calls the receipts. These are the specific structural steps you have to take to actually build this independent corporate credit profile. It all starts with understanding the major credit bureau standards. Just as we have personal credit bureaus, businesses are tracked by entirely different entities, specifically Dun & Bradstreet, Experian Commercial, and Equifax Business. Under these standards, a company generates what's known as a paydex score. This score and the entire credit profile are tied exclusively to the company's employer identification number, or EIN. This distinction is absolutely crucial because it completely severs the business's creditworthiness from the owner's personal history. Okay, so how do you actually establish that robust commercial profile? Well, you have to walk through a very specific progression. When structured correctly, you start at the foundation by building trust with vendor Tier 1 accounts. These are usually basic suppliers who report your prompt payments. Once you've got a rock-solid history there, your business graduates to vendor Tier 2, unlocking larger credit lines with bigger suppliers. Finally, having proven its reliability, the business moves up to revolving bank accounts. By systematically graduating through these tiers, your entity secures capital based purely on its own corporate revenue and payment history. And just like that, personal liability is eliminated.
Section 5. The Connection. Building Communities of Excellence. As we wrap up the mechanics of avoiding the PG trap, the source material introduces the organization behind these strategies known as GBC. According to the text, their overall mission is deeply focused on empowerment. They state, the mission at GBC is building communities of excellence, one person, one family, and one business at a time. The source notes they actively accomplish this mission through education, premium financial services, and entrepreneurship opportunities, which are all accessible by visiting genobradley.com.
The author actually concludes their material by asking their community to drop a G in the comments if they found value in today's G-code lesson. So feel free to do that. But for us, looking objectively at this framework, it leaves us with one critical, highly provocative question to ask ourselves. Are you currently leaving your own family's financial supply line completely exposed to the PG trap? Take a hard, honest look at your current structure and ask what steps you need to take today to build your business its own secondary cover. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.